Beautiful ocean sunset. Is it worth the creepy overpriced site? I don't know. We are just waiting for Thorn and Clyde, but other than that, we are all packed. Happier Camper is connected, and we are on our way to San Onofre State Park Campgrounds. Bluffs Campground! Yay!
Okay.
Not a bad view. Took us about an hour to drive out here. These are the closest parking spots we've had for Fern. But you have this private little area here and nice sea breeze. There are a lot of bees at this campground. Cute to see the solar on the roof. That's pretty much it for the showers. And this is it for the toilets. So it's a stage above a portaloo, a public portaloo. Anyway, it's nice to have toilet paper, and this little thing here is supposed to flush, but the whole thing is so flimsy. Flushing it's actually a little bit more difficult than you would think, and then it kind of comes up and splashes everywhere. So if you have the option of getting your own small little bucket with seat on it, which like they have at REI, I would definitely recommend doing that rather than using these ones. But if you have to, at least you have a place to go, and you can shut the door. Really beautiful views. dumping station. And this is the area where you can do your day parking. It's $15 per vehicle. You got the freeway and train. And then up the road there's also the power plant, which is, I believe, one of the reasons the water here is just a little bit warmer. And there's a lot more rays. You have to watch where you step in the sea. I have no idea if I'm supposed to be on this road or not. I think they have it blocked off so cars won't go down because the cliffs are a little unstable, but we're gonna have a quick look. The sea breeze is really nice. Oh yes, beautiful. And there's the coast, down towards San Diego. Off on the horizon you can just make out Catalina Island. So it's really beautiful out here. It's really peaceful. It is expensive to stay here. It was $40 per night for both my tow vehicle and Fern, and then they charged an extra, I think it was $8.77, $8 something, as a booking fee, which was the only state park which it added a booking fee so far, and it has certainly been the most expensive, but it's also really, really beautiful and stunning out here. Once again, because we are in Southern California, you do have to be careful of both mountain lions and rattlesnakes. few of the cliffs are unstable. That was fun. So walked back up that slippery slope and found this other trail which seems to lead to our campsite, but it's invisible from the campsite, so I'm having a little sneak around. There are the toilets we just visited. Actually, I do want to rinse off this rock I found. Let's have a quick peep. Oops, there's a bee on that one. Let's do this one. Alright. Just want to have a quick look at the different stones. Look like it had kind of lumpy crystals within. I can't quite see it now. It's all wet. Alright. Ah, I can see our little camper. There's one secret way in. Let's see if I can find another secret way in. Also gonna look for cougar tracks. So far I only see human tracks. And some broken glass. There's top of our camper. There's Fern. Ah, secret path, up we go. Gorgeous. You saw dolphins? Tell us about the dolphins.
The dolphins were in the water. They're bottlenose dolphins.
Bottlenose dolphins.
There you go.
They do go like that. Nice.
I saw millions of them.
Millions. You had a huge pod. Super cool.
And I did that little thing where I throw the rock and it jumps on the water.
You skipped it.
I skipped it.
Nice work. Ha. So we're at site number 7. Technically it's B007. And it doesn't actually look like it does on the map on the website. So we just asked around to make sure we were at the right 7, not as if we were meant to be on C7 or A7, but it's all labeled B for some reason, B for Bluff. And number 1 is right next to the toilets. They do smell a little bit, but it's still a nice looking site, and it's really handy if you need to wash your dishes. There's a spot just right there, and of course you have some trees on one side and only neighbors on the other, if you have anyone next to you at all. So we are just wandering down this little path to see the sites at the end, because Clive reckons that they get bigger and shadier towards the other side. So that's our mission today, right now. You tired?
Hi, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And itchy because my backpack is wrapped together.
See, oh, look it, look it, look it. Do you know what this is?
The same thing we grow at home.
Have a sniff. You know what it is.
I forgot the name.
Oh, chickens love this stuff too. It's fennel.
Yeah, I know. Fennel?
Fennel. Oh, that smells so good.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was fennel. It looks so different.
Wild fennel. I'll grab some of these. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, we have hit the area that is for group camping. Let's go up here. So maybe the shady ones are just for group camping. And that would explain why they're bigger, although Clive says they're not really bigger. He says he never said that.
Yeah, this group camping is certainly not bigger.
Not bigger.
No, there's other ones later that are a lot more shady. There's trees around, and it just seemed like a
nicer area.
bit nice. Yeah, a lot nicer.
Yeah. Okay.
Beyond the building over here, if I remember rightly.
Let's continue on and have a look. So here's where you wash your dishes. We've got one of these right next to our site too. Well, our cluster of parking sites. Alright, we have reached beach trail number 3. On the other end of our site, there is beach trail number 2. Ooh, that is so pretty. Yeah, see, the trails are quite steep, and then the beaches aren't exactly sandy beaches, but it's so pretty. Oh, look at that, tide pooling. So we take that one around here, and there's another little path down there. We can catch low tide and go pool rock pools. Cool. No. Although it's sandy further down, but you have to find a safe way to get around the rock pool.
Another couple of miles down there.
It's gorgeous. How's your food?
Good.
So even though it's a really beautiful spot, there's a funny feeling at this campsite. I have heard that the staff here complain that people don't know what they're booking, that they think it's Camp Pendleton, which is just up the road, which is a military-based campsite, and really beautiful. And I kind of think that people come and then they decide they don't want to stay and they leave. And we've had like 3 people come and set up in the same spot and then leave. So it kind of feels a bit transient. So Clive is feeling like he doesn't want to stay either. So we're just going to do the one night. And we were going to stay late tomorrow, but I think we're going to end up just coming down to the rocks, doing a little bit of hiking, having a lunch, and then packing up and going home, which is a shame, I suppose. But yeah, I think the way it's set up is really strange. I don't know if it's actually secure. I think maybe the staff have gone home at 6 and now anyone can just come in and find a parking spot and a pitch and set up. So I don't know how real that is, or if it's just the way it seems, but we have a couple that just parked kind of next to us. They're straddling 2 campsites, and I am really confused. They don't have a tent, they don't have an RV. They're just sitting with beers and their dogs over 2 campsites, and I don't know if they're gonna just watch the sunset and have dinner and then head off, and someone else is gonna come in the middle of the night and set up because the space is available. It just feels really insecure, and a little bit unsafe, I guess, because there's just random people coming and going. The pitch on either side of us, when I booked, the ones on either side of us were open, but the rest were completely filled, and we've gone through so many different sets of families throughout the day. There is definitely something different going on here. So I don't think we'll stay. Obviously we won't stay. Clive does not want to stay that second night. We'll see what it's like tonight. We do have the train going right behind us. Between the freeway and the road by the campsite, there is the train. The Surfliner goes past, the Amtrak. I think there's at least one sleeper train that will go by in the middle of the night, but I don't think we have freight trains on that line. I could be wrong. I'll let you know in the morning. Fingers crossed. Full ocean sunset. Is it worth the creepy overpriced site? I don't know. I am so torn over this site. It's just it's a place that has so much potential, and I just don't think it's being managed properly. So gorgeous, look at that. Okay, so we spoke to one of the rangers, and they're all closed up for the day. They're just cashing out, but they said tomorrow if we wanted to check out early we would get a refund minus the cancellation fee, which is 8 something again, and we'll be good to go. So they seem to be expecting that. I am guessing it happens a lot, but yeah, it's good to know that people can't just zoom in right now. They have a barrier that will be going up, I think, a little bit later. But alright, that's it for me.
Walking eyes closed, say it louder. Walking eyes closed, oh yeah. Walking eyes closed, walking eyes closed, walking eyes closed.
Did you make that song up?
I made it up today.
Uh-huh. Worst night sleep ever. The traffic noise was bad, and on top of that there were freight trains going through the night that were quite loud and rumbly, and a fog bank came in, which kind of accentuated the sound and sort of held a fog over us, but it did seem like the smog from an exhaust from the freeway was just kind of enveloping us, and it was difficult to get fresh air. It was difficult to get sleep with all the flashing lights that were coming through the window, and obviously the noise was a bit intense. Now I know why everyone was leaving yesterday. They came out here for day parking in the overnight section, had a little barbecue, and then left before the freight trains kicked in, and probably went home and got good sleep. Doesn't seem quite as bad now, but we had breakfast with the traffic going past, and we were literally shouting at each other. We couldn't hear anything because of the noise, and I thought it was so odd that the night previous that was not a problem. We could sit, we could be near the table and not have to shout 3 foot across to one another. And I think it's just the cloud cover and the fog and the mist. I think those water molecules have somehow accentuated the sound of the freeway so loudly that you can't even hear yourself when you're talking, let alone someone who's trying to put in a pancake order. So ultimately, I think this site is so beautiful, but come for the day parking, in my opinion. You can get your day pass for $15 per vehicle, so if you've got your tow vehicle with you, that's $30. I don't think you have to pay a booking fee, so they don't gouge you in that extra way. The park does seem mismanaged. They're kind of like, I think, scraping whatever they can and not putting anything back into it. My assumption with that is that it's because the whole area is sliding into the sea, like quite a lot of California coast. I think it could have been a great truck stop, except I don't think the ground is stable enough to take that much weight. The paths down to the ocean are really treacherous. You can see with each new rainfall there's more of it sliding down and making it rather impassable. But do come and have a look at this day camping area, and you can, if the path is accessible and you can get down to the stone beach, it's really pretty and it has stunning views. But don't stay the night. We had our worst sleep ever. I don't think sleep actually happened at all. The freight trains are more active at night. Once 6:30 hit, we had freight trains coming in and out really loudly. They didn't honk their horns or anything, but they're just barreling through at a really high speed, and it's just like a huge sound wave bombarding us. The ground shakes just a little bit, but aside from that noise, you have the noise of the traffic, which is a constant drone, which isn't so bad because it's something that you should be able to get used to, almost like the sound of distant waves, except that the headlights do hit the campsite. So with our curtains down, we just keep getting flashes of light. That it's like a little strobe light going on, unless you have complete blackout curtains. If you're in a tent, or if you have you know, shades like ours, it's gonna be really difficult to sleep through that. Even with earplugs and a mask, I think it would be difficult to sleep. But I would recommend coming for the day parking, having a look, because it is so beautiful. I mean, hold on, look at this. I mean, that's gorgeous. See. And Casper's Wilderness Park is 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes just up the 405, and that is really quiet in itself. You're just in the middle of the wilderness, and you should get just a really beautiful night's sleep. If you're kept up, it'll only be because you had bad noisy neighbors. Even then you could call one of the park rangers and they would come out and sort it out for you. That park is very much taken care of, and I think they take care of their guests. This park, the employees seem a little bit complacent and flippant. They are polite and kind, and they seem to understand that people want to leave because it's not really a healthy place to spend a lot of time, especially overnight. But they did complain a lot that people don't know what they're booking. They should really know what they're booking. But the website does not actually portray how close the trains are, how close the freeway is, and the layout of the campsite on their website, which is the one I had to book on, does not look anything like the campsite here. So just a heads up to that. And it's the only state park campsite I've been to where the map looks nothing like what you're actually staying in. And I don't think they are intentionally misleading the public. I just think that over time they've changed the parking spot and they just haven't updated that on the website. Also, it's the only state park we've been into where they don't show us a map of the whole campsite. So we're like, are we in the right place? Because it did look so different. And then the employees were a little bit grumbly. It's like, oh, people always think this is Pendleton, but it's not the same. Yeah, no, I didn't go to the Pendleton website. I am not military. I am not a military wife. I don't have access to that. I couldn't get in if I wanted to. unless I was there with family that did have that access. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so I gotta sign off now. It does feel like the background noise is easing off. I just think it's so strange how once dusk falls, it's just so loud. It feels like you have been at a concert all night. And this morning, just before I brushed my teeth, I walked away from our campsite and I walked to where the restrooms are and the sinks are, and I could literally feel my ears ringing once I was sort of behind that building structure and set of trees. It shielded the sound of the freeway enough that I could hear my own ears ringing, which is shocking. So we've had. Also, we couldn't watch the stars. There was so much light and noise pollution. It did feel like we were on a freeway on-ramp, and it was really stressful. I'm rambling, I apologize. Do come out, do the day parking, have a nice picnic, enjoy the area, go down to the beach if you can, if the access is safe still, and then go to the Casper's Wilderness Park just up the road and get a good night's sleep and just enjoy the stars and the fresh air and no traffic noise. Just my opinion, but whatever you do, go out, have fun, and enjoy the world you have around you, because it's not going to stay like this for long.